Hi everybody, I'm Enes and I come from Bilgi Istanbul University. I want to share with you some vocabulary building skills. So, first of all, I want to explain you what is a memory palace. So, there is a new method how to develop your vocabulary. You can use memory palace. It is one of the most useful and widely used methods you can use because you can draw a place or you can draw an object, and if you take a quick search in the internet, anyone can build a memory palace, and it is useful far more than just learning by heart or writing all the time. First of all, you have to decide a blueprint for a palace. While a memory palace can be purely imagined place, it is easier to base it upon a place that exists in the real world and that you are familiar with, or you can use some places for your favorite video game. A basic palace could be your bedroom, for example. Larger memory palace can be based on your house, a cathedral, a walk, a neighborhood, even a bathroom, I don't know. Everything can be, but I'm going to show you what is my memory palace. Oh, these are all of my notes, chemistry notes, that we are going to use it. So this is my memory palace. Here I draw a house. I'm not very good at drawing, but I think I've done something really nice. Here I draw a house as my memory palace. So let's go inside this house. It's more than a house, it's just like a cathedral. First of all, we have to define a road. So I defined. This is a simple road that I defined. If you need to remember things in a certain order, it is essential that you have to follow a specific road through your palace, both in the real world and in your mind. Once you have decided what your memory palace is, decide how you'll travel and how you discover your memory palace. If you don't really need to remember things in order, this step is necessary, but still useful, as it makes memorizing your palace easier. So here you see the plan of my route. So on the right side I put the chemistry park, on the left side I've put physics, and this is just a simple plan on my mind. If you take a deep look, you can see that on the chemistry park I've put all the chemistry equipments, so I name them all. Here is the burette, here is the beaker, here's the thermometer, here's the wash bottle, here's the funnel. The first time I had the chemistry lab, I found it really hard to memorize all of these equipment, so I decided to put on a chemistry park. Let's go to the physics. You can see that on the left side I made some narrows. I made some narrows that are on the opposite side with each other. What does they mean? They are the Newton's law, of course. I define them as Newton's law. As far as the third Newton's law tells the term of two opposite objects, I made two opposite narrows and define them as a third Newton's law. But in the first and the second Newton's law is so simple, like force is equal to mass times acceleration, so I just did it. In the same time I draw a car which is burning her tires, so I decided to call it acceleration. If you take a look on this plan, you see a 40-degree theta. It's an angle. You see a narrow, and it actually means projectile motion exercise. It actually means projectile motion in physics. It actually means the mass. It actually means the angle, and it actually means the force. This is how I memorize like my physics and chemistry notes on my own mind. This is how I memorize them. So one important step is to place things to be remembered in your place. Once you have constructed your palace and have it firmly implanted in your mind, you are ready to use it, but put a manageable amount of information on each place. For example, if your palace is a house, you are trying to remember a speech. You might place the first few sentences on your doormat, and the next few in the keyhole of the door. For example, it's another example. Like if you draw a house or draw just a plan of a house, like we did on the primary school, don't put too much information in any one place. And if certain things must be certain things must be kept separate from others, put them in different places. Make sure that your palace things your place things along your route in order to in order in which you need to remember them. If applicable, if you are a beginner, it is not wise to pick up same kind of objects from different places of your mind palace to put different information, as it may confuse you. So another important step is to use symbols. You have to use symbols. As far as you see, I've used a symbol for my physics. This is a shape thing. I don't know its name, but it just came to my mind on that moment and I drew it. So let's go to the other page. I drew it again. These are all of my physics vocabulary that I found really hard to memorize. So as far as I draw that this object, I try to write on the top of the object the absolute zero, then acceleration, the amplitude, atmosphere, axis, accuracy. So I rate them in base of the alphabet ranking. I went to the B part, balance. Oh, balance is something that should be in the middle. It means something that should be in the middle of two objects or in the middle of a mass. So I write it on the middle of this object. That's how I can memorize it easier. I went to electromagnetic, electricity, energy, force, equilibrium. Energy, force, equilibrium. There are three components that you can put it everywhere on your object, regarding to physics, because you can put force from the bottom of the object, from the top of the object. It doesn't really matter. You can go to gravitation. You know that gravitation goes down always, as far as the center of the earth is always down regard to us. I wrote magnitude, I wrote frequency, dynamics, kinematics, constant, component, and circular. I wrote circular motion because of this because of the shape of this part of my object. So this is how you build new memory palace. So I recommend you to use this method. A memory palace can be used over and over again if you need only to commit things to your memory for a short time. Just replace the existing contents with the new ones. Just replace the existing contents with the new ones, and you'll soon remember only the new ones. If you need to remember the contents of your palace for a long time, you can keep that palace as it is. You can keep your palace as it is and create new ones in which to store and other information as needed. If your house contains the phone numbers of everyone you know, you can walk to your workplace if you need to remember in the order of a deck of cards. So, developing the vocabulary is vital to the academic life, because you will have to face different situations in your postgraduate life, as well as to generate academic debates. My methods during the past have been really simple, like learning by heart or writing lots of pages, and I can rate them useful up to 50-60%, because they were temporary on my mind. They were just like for 1 week and then they were vanished. I chose that previous method to develop my vocabulary because I hadn't read yet about the memory palace. In the very first moment that I read about memory palace, I found it really useful and much more simpler than the other methods because of the way it is stuck on your brain. It's stuck in your brain with images, it is stuck in your brain with your imagination. You can create the craziest pictures and just put information on those craziest pictures of yours and share it on your brain. This is the difference that this method has from the other methods. It's like this is the vital difference. That's what I want to say. It's perfectly combined with the academic skills and your objectives. Furthermore, it is extremely effective because of the way it is stuck in your brain, as I said before. Thank you very much. This was my Memory Palace. Hope to see you again.